In
Stand by to
5,
fade in 5. Stand by
4,
music and announce full.
3,
Stand by to animate your bug.
2, 1.
Music.
You're in.
Fade in 5. Animate the bug. Stand by to dissolve to 2. Stand by to Mike and Q, Richard and Audrey with graphic. Dissolve 2. Mike and Q. Change monitor.
NYPD officers, 5 suspects are
Stand by to
already
take
on
one
target.
clean.
They murdered a cop who lived on Long Island. Good evening. I'm Audrey Hampton.
And I'm Richard Rose.
Take
Officer
one.
Peter Fragosky was
Stand by to roll A. Stand by to take it with
when
graphic.
He and a partner interrupted a Brooklyn burglary. Today, the alleged shooter and 4 accomplices were indicted.
Roll
for
A.
murder
Take it
charges
with.
in a courtroom that was packed.
Stand by to lose it.
Officers and some of their NYPD Blues.
Lose.
The killing has further outraged many because the alleged shooter, Lamont Pride, was let out by a Brooklyn judge.
Stand by to
despite
dissolve to
numerous
3.
prior
Stand by to
arrests
Mike and Q,
and
Audrey.
the shooting in North Carolina. Officer Fragosky lived in West Babylon, leaves behind 4 daughters. $250,000 in donations have already come in for their college costs. Now a wake is scheduled for the weekend, and then a funeral on Monday morning at St. Joseph Roman Catholic Church next to the Babylon High School. It's expected to draw thousands, an event so large the school has been closed for the day.
Dissolve to 3. Mike and Q.
Authorities in Illinois say a family of 5
Stand by to
was
roll
shot
B.
to
Stand by
death
to take
in
it
the
with
small Illinois
graphic.
town of Emmington. No other details are available at this time.
Roll B.
Meanwhile, police in
Take it.
California say a gunman
Stand by to lose your
opened fire in an
graphic.
office building
Lose
in
it.
Irwindale, killing 2 people and then himself.
Stand by to take camera 1
Number
clean.
of
Stand by to
possible
Mike and Q,
injuries is
Richard.
unknown. According to witnesses, the shooter was a former employee of the Edison Utility Company and worked in the IT department.
Take one, Mike and Q.
Terrifying incidents involving elevators.
Stand by to roll X. Stand by to
Bars
taking
are now
track sound
forcing
full.
Investigators to take a closer look, and they're pushing some New Yorkers even to take the stairs.
Roll X. Taking track.
A small memorial is tied to barricades outside
Stand by to
and
insert your
pictures
graphic.
inside the lobby of
Insert.
285 Madison
Stand by to
Avenue
lose.
here in Midtown Manhattan for
Lose it. Change
41-year-old
graphic.
Suzanne Hart.
Stand by to
The
insert.
executive was crushed to death in an elevator as she was headed to work Wednesday morning. Ron Zander of Scarsdale says this tragedy is now something he thinks about as he makes his way around the city.
You know, you just really
Insert. Stand by to lose it.
A little bit more on edge. And
Lose.
A little bit more
Stand by to
cautious.
insert your
Federal
graphic. Change
safety
graphic, please.
investigators
Thank
were on
you.
hand today to take a closer look at what occurred here. Meanwhile,
Insert.
in Brooklyn, the
Stand by
district
to
attorney's
lose.
office
Lose
just
it.
announced the indictment of 27-year-old
Change graphic.
Jason
Stand by to
Jordan,
insert.
shown here in security
Insert.
video taken at SUNY
Stand by to
Downstate
lose.
Medical Center
Lose
last
it.
Christmas, walking away after prosecutors say he recklessly
Stand by to
conducted
insert.
elevator repair.
And it could have been many things. Could have been the computer, could have
Insert.
been the motor, could have been one
Stand
of
by
the
to
door
lose
locks, could have been
graphic.
more than one of the door locks.
Lose
So
it.
rather than take his time
Stand by to
and
insert
go
graphic.
step by step by step to diagnose the problem, he took a shortcut.
That shortcut, Vecchione says, is that Jordan disregarded industry standards and disabled the safety switch which prevents the elevator from moving when the doors are open.
Lady on the first floor, Miss Jordan,
1 minute.
stepped
Coming to
into
camera
the
1 clean
elevator.
for the tag.
The door
Stand by to Mike and Q,
began to
Richard.
close. The elevator began to rise. Her left leg and left arm were caught between the floor of the hospital and the elevator floor.
And the 47-year-old's screams could be heard throughout the hospital as her leg and arm were crushed against each floor. Stacy Wagner of the Upper East Side says she's noticed a real change in people's behavior going into and out of elevators after these tragedies.
Insert.
It really seems like
30
it,
seconds.
like
Coming to
people are
Richard on 1 for the
cognizant of
tag.
what's going on
Lose.
and not trying to rush into
Stand by
the
to
elevator.
insert.
Now the Brooklyn
Insert.
DA's office is
Stand by to
calling
lose your
for the
graphic.
passage of new state legislation
Lose it.
requiring continuing education for those who maintain and repair elevators so these types of tragic incidents never happen again.
Anybody can be employed by
10
an
seconds.
elevator.
Standard out. Coming to Richard on 1 for the
Minimal
tag
training.
clean.
Send them out on a job, and you can see what can happen.
In Midtown Manhattan, Christina Renault, TV 10 and 55 News.
Take 1, Mike and
Now, a
Q.
spokesman for Transil Company.
Stand by to take
performed
3 clean.
maintenance on
Stand by to Mike and
building's
Q,
elevators
Audrey.
in the most recent incident told the news at 11 tonight that they are thoroughly cooperating with the investigation into this incident. Safety remains their top priority, and that their thoughts and prayers are with the Hart family.
Take 3.
With the Nassau
Stand by to
legislature
roll A,
layoff
stand by to
vote
taking
looming,
track sound
one
full
union is
with
hoping that
graphic.
the vote will pass and that their employees won't get laid off.
Roll A. Taking
There's
track.
still no deal.
Stand by to lose your graphic. Lose it. Change graphic, please. Thanks.
Anticipating the outcome. Whether County Executive Ed Mangano's plan will force CSEA workers to give up more, close to $55 million in concessions, and force
Stand by to
hundreds
insert
to be
graphic.
demoted or even lose their jobs. Preparing for the worst, CSEA has created an incentive package that Ryan Mahalan says may help people without being forced to leave and ultimately save as many jobs as possible.
you could take an incentive for
Insert. Stand by to lose it.
single year that you have of service, and that would get people to leave voluntarily
Lose
instead
it.
of
Stand by to
being laid
insert
off.
In order
graphic.
for the vote to pass, Mulholland says the Democrats and Republicans need to come to an agreement. But the clock is ticking for CSEA members
Change
and
monitor
union
full
workers
screen
if
to
cuts
weather.
are made to departments
Thanks.
that are already tight.
We have people from probation, public works, social services. Those are some of the titles and departments that would be hit the hardest from a potential layoff if it does go through on Monday.
Insert.
Back in June,
Stand by to
CSEA was
lose it.
faced with 128 layoffs. So if Monday's vote
Lose.
isn't passed,
30
they say
seconds.
more
Coming
than
to camera 3 for the tag
350
clean.
layoffs
Stand by to
can
Mike
be
and Q
made, which is
Audrey.
potentially 6% of their workforce.
To make further cuts in areas such as social services. where
10
there are
seconds.
mandated
Stand it out.
services
Coming to
that
camera
need to
3
be provided
clean.
to
Stand by to Mike and Q Audrey.
Medicaid, food
2 pan
stamps,
left of hair.
things like that.
Tilt
It's going
down.
to be very difficult to
Awesome.
provide the services to the residents that our members do.
In Mineola, Jody Goldberg, TV 10 and 55 News.
Take 3, Mike and
And in order
Q.
for the vote to pass, NIFA will also have to sign off.
Stand by 2, take
All
2.
right, let's take a turn to the weather now.
Stand by
A
to Mike
little
and Q
windy
David
today,
at the
but
wall.
not
Stand
too
by
bad as
1
we
with
reach the
graphic.
weekend.
Kid, mid-December, it's kind of freaky how nice.
Stand by to roll A. Stand by to
Dave
dissolve
West is here now with
clean.
your first forecast to let us know if you can all
Open his
continue.
mic. Take 1 with.
Ample sunshine, Richard. Mild and a bit on the blustery side today, sure. We'll get to all the numbers in a moment.
Lose your
and
graphic.
forecast, too.
Thanks.
First, how about a field trip? Let's
Roll A.
let's
Dissolve.
say, Brooklyn, place of my birth. Although I wasn't born there in the trees, there's a hospital nearby. But this is a lovely December scene. And there's another
Stand by to
shoot right
dissolve
there.
back to 1.
All aglow for Christmas, a bright and brisk day. More than comfortable enough to spend outdoors along the promenade at Gay Plaza in Brooklyn.
Dissolve.
Number today's high temperatures. Iceland actually tied a record high at 56 degrees. Bridgeport also made it to 56, 59 for Central Park and in Newark too. How about the wind department? Those gusts overnight, early morning, ranging from 33 miles an hour in Central Park to near 40 for Iceland and Bridgeport, 45 miles an hour for Newark. These are blowing around outside early this morning. Outside now, temperatures dropping. Mid-30s on the east end, 40 Iceland, Bridgeport, 42 in the city, about the same Newark, and in White Plains too. Overnight, we dip down to around the freezing mark. Then you head out in the morning hours for that dozen bagels. They'll be wrapping later as gifts for Hanukkah and Christmas. Nippy start, low to mid-30s across the board to a high of
Stand by to take 2. Stand by to Mike and Q Richard and Audrey. Stand by music.
Way to clouds. Plenty of cloud cover right now, but any green you see at the bottom of the screen will stay there. There's a front passing to our south. We are going to stay dry into the weekend. So overnight hours, mostly cloudy skies. A chilly breeze from the west still with us. Low to mid-30s. It'll feel like the 20s with a wind chill. Quick look for the first half of your weekend. For tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sun. The winds will die down. Not as windy tomorrow as it was today. 41 to 44 is the temperature range, about where we should be, but certainly cooler than we've had.
Stand by
of
for a
late.
quick dissolve
It'll be
to
chilly
5 after
tomorrow
the
night.
tease.
Again, as for Sunday and next week, leading up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we have all of that for you in the extended forecast. And just
Open their mics.
Richard, Audrey.
Take
And
2.
still to
Music.
come, learn to use
Roll beta
sound
1.
after a musical
Dissolve.
Get set to
Stand by to
showcase
kill their
the
mics. Stand by to swell
spectacular
music.
Upcoming concert.
Kill swell. Dissolve to 5. Stand by master in 2, 1. Fade it. Take it.